From the perspective of business, I think participation of women, first of all, brings diversity into options. So it's a diversity of the view, it's a variety of the opinions. It brings a completely different point of view to many discussions. And I've seen many times where women participation in discussions have totally shifted the attention and the focus of the discussion to the better outcome, to the better solution. So these diverse perspectives that women give in boards contributes to the better results and better performance of the companies and of the teams. Further on, it also contributes to the better corporate governance. And this is not a theory, but it is a fact proven by many research documents and the studies. Therefore, it is very important to include more women into corporate boards and to an executive boards. I think women participation now until now was more of an exception than a rule. And the way forward is that it is not an exception, but it's actually a normal practice, right? So in order that to happen, I think it is very important for the companies to understand the importance of the policies and the regulations, the neutrality of the hiring, not to discriminate with the gender, all the support in the career advancement. Would it be a coaching? Would it be mentoring or other tools that could be available for women? So I think as corporates, as managers, we have to assume that responsibility, because I've heard many times when I've argued with my counterparts about these issues, them saying, but you are there, so that means it's possible. And that means there are no barriers. And all the time I'm saying, no, guys, this is not the case. The exceptions do not prove against the rule. What we are having exceptions. And thank God we are having many exceptions now. But I think we have to already go to the next level when it's a normal practice rather than exception. So when we ask women to be more active, we have to fulfill the other side of the task as well. We have to create the thriving environment for them. And as I've mentioned already, I think all these opportunities will come tenfold to the society back, because women's participation would improve, including reputation of the companies. I think companies have to realize that larger participation of the women in the corporate world will create a better reputation for them as well, so they can benefit from this on a daily basis. And it would also give women another perspective, because I truly believe in leading by example. And unless we create many examples, there wouldn't be less and less followers. And therefore, I would recommend to have as many examples as possible, as less exceptions as possible, and to have a thriving environment in the corporate world for women. When we are talking about wider participation of women, we have to emphasize that in areas such as STEM, it's more of an exception than in other areas. So leadership of women in STEM is something that has come recently, I think, and something that is very important and more important to support girls embarking on these careers of STEM. Because, from my example, like when I was in physical mathematical school, there was only 20% of the women. Then I went to the university, there was 10% of women where I was studying. And then further and further, the percentage is decreasing. And therefore, we go back to the idea that it's more of an exception than the practice. And if we talk about struggle, first, please allow me to demonize struggle. Struggle is okay, because any organization or the person that strives for the development, I think it's very normal to struggle. Every change is some type of the struggle. Therefore, struggle is normal. My advice to attend to struggle or to solve the struggling problems would be, first of all, is the goal clear? Do you understand clearly what is the goal? If the goal of increasing women participation is clear for everybody, not only for yourself but for your team, if the benefits are clearly shown by yourself and by the team, then I think half of the job of identifying the road is already done. Then is, as we talked, are there enough frameworks to help this journey? Is there an institutional framework? Are people empowered that are participating in this journey, right? And then again, personal example. If you set a personal example in attending these issues, in addressing these problems, I think it is very, very important for those that you lead, right, on this journey. And I think the last and not the least is that you have to identify small wins. Once you win, you have to celebrate it, and then you have to look back and learn from the path that you have gone through. And I think this is a cycle. For every stage, you go back, you identify the goal, you lead by the example, you look back and you learn. And this is an eventual and perpetual process, I think, that we have to follow until there is real equality and equity in place.